What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I am currently on the test server, guys. In today's video, we're gonna have a look at the new Fusion champion. We're gonna see if this champion is actually worth it for your account. This is the champion. He does look pretty badass design-wise. Defense-based champion. He's kind of like a Hydra specialist. Now, of course, the main thing that really decides if this champion is worth it or not are the multipliers, right? So we're gonna have to see that first. Either way, his base stats actually don't look too bad. We have 103 speed, almost 1550 defense, which is really good because he is a defense-based champion. With A1, he has a chance to land a Hex. Now, this will be a 100% chance once you fully booked him, a double hit, and you have an increased crit damage buff on the champion, which is not bad at all. With the A2, attacks an enemy twice, has a chance of repeating the attack. When the champion counterattacks or teams up with allies, he will use this attack instead, and he can stack up damage up to 50%, 10% every time an ally gets devoured in the Hydra clan boss, which is actually pretty interesting. But of course, one of the main issues that I have with this, at least from my point of view, if I'm using one of my teams in the Hydra clan boss, throughout the entire run, I feel like my champions won't be getting devoured 5 times, okay? But that is on my account. Probably a lot of you guys are in a different situation, so you will be able to actually stack up the damage to 50%. But I feel like it's not good as it is. It should be, I don't know, 25% increase, stacking up to 50. You get 2 champions devoured, bang. This skill is at maximum, and he can deal damage. That's how it should be, in my opinion. 10%. Is way too much. With the A3, attacks all enemies twice. Has a chance to place decreased speed and a weaken. If the target is under a hex, places these debuffs before attacking. Damage based on defense, as I've mentioned. So you need to bring in a different champion that has hex, or you bring in a different champion that has a curse set on it, so you can actually land a hex. With a passive, will ignore life barrier and ally protection buffs. Increases the champion's defense by 5 for each active buff on him. The more buffs, the better. The more damage he's going to deal. And then you have, of course, increases ally defense in all battles by 28%. The aura is decent. Now, let me just quickly show you the build that I have on. I do have the champion fully booked. One thing that I actually haven't done, I haven't put a soul on him, okay? So I have him built on Savage and a crit damage set. That's why I have pretty high crit damage, because this is not a PvP champion. I'm not going to try him in arena no matter what, right? So that's gonna be pretty pointless. But because of it, I can actually go with a crit damage set instead of Stone Skin. I have a perception one as well to increase the accuracy and of course increase a bit of speed. Total stats, we have 40k HP, 6900 defense, 227 speed, full crit rate, 300 crit damage. Keep in mind, of course, the gear is ascended. That gives me crit damage. This is crit damage set, which is actually really helpful, okay? So all that is pretty important to keep in mind. Leaving all that on the side, Masteries, we have offense and support. Master Hexer as tier 6, and basically just get a bit of extra accuracy. And Helm Smasher as tier 6, sorry, Master Hexer as tier 5, not tier 6. What am I talking about? Either way, these are very typical PvE Masteries, guys, okay? Now, for a blessing, I will give him a 5-star soul in a second. I would definitely suggest you to go with Nature's Red. I don't have a relic on him, but we are going to equip a relic as well once we're going to put a soul, and I'm going to go for an epic relic if I have it available on the account, because I'm on the test server. Nothing really seems to work as it should. So seems like I do not have any good epic relics that I could use on him. Let's see. Any of these ones? Weather deals pure damage equal to the attack. This is poisons. Weather deals 5% more damage using their default skill when all other skills are on cooldown. Weather has a chance to decrease the incoming damage. No. 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 I don't want to give him a legendary one, man. So probably I'm going to go with this one. Malefic Talon. I really wanted to give him a Erratic Coronet. That's a good relic. It's an epic. It's not impossible to get like mythical ones or anything like that. So I was gonna give him a try with that, but most likely we're gonna try him without a relic. So first, I just quickly want to show you the raw damage that we have on, just to kind of like get a better idea of what to expect. I'm not going to use his aura in here, and keep in mind, right? The damage will be better in the Hydra because of everything that he has in the kit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be OP in there and suck everywhere else, right? Plus, another thing that is a bit of a disadvantage for the champion is the fact that he needs to bring in you need to bring in an increased defense champion. So let's start with the AoE attack. Let's see what do we have right here. Okay, so we land the debuffs only after, because we don't have hacks on the champions, which is fine. The damage is not looking too bad, to be honest. We are on stage 10 hard mode. I have no blessing on him. He doesn't have necessarily the craziest gear. I mean, his defense is pretty low. Yes, I do have higher crit damage, but to be honest, that's not something that is like, wow, 300 crit damage is not massive anyway for today's accounts with blessings, relics, and everything else, right? So the damage is fairly decent for the AoE skill. I'm very curious to see that in the Hydra, though. So we are going to use the A2. This should be the skill that's kind of like the signature skill, right? Because he's going to use this all the time. So let's go versus Deli Burger right there. 102k, 111k. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Definitely not bad. So actually, his damage looks pretty decent in here. Now, very often it happens where champions that hit hard in other areas, they just completely suck in the Hydra clan boss for whatever reason. I still don't know why. Might be something with their coding or something else. But not all champions that deal crazy damage perform good in Hydra. And we're gonna see if that's actually true. So 98k, 100k. So basically 200k per hit with the gear that we have on without a blessing. Which is honestly pretty decent. Pretty decent. Like if you watched any of my previous videos, you've seen where we tried a champion, other champions, sorry, and they're all coming on stage 10 hard mode, and most of them deal very similar damage, even if they are some OP champions. Now, we're gonna go in the Hydra clan boss without a blessing first. Then we're gonna put in a blessing, and we're gonna come back to the Hydra clan boss. One thing to keep in mind, guys, okay? Personally, I think that this champion, for my account, is not really going to do much, right? Now, for a lot of you guys out there, this will be a completely different situation. A lot of people will benefit from getting the champion, while a lot of people will not benefit from getting the champion. So you really have to think if you need something like him on your own account. Decrease speed, weaken, a bit of damage, and I feel like it's going to help a lot of people that are still progressing through the Hydra, that are struggling a bit with life barriers and all that stuff, right? So I feel like that will be helpful for a lot of you guys. Let me just quickly drop Mishinaki out of here because I do want to bring in a provoke champion. So let's bring in the archer. So we have provoke and hex like that. Because you do need a hex champion. You do need a hex champion for him. If not, he's not going to land the debuffs only after. So let's put all of the debuffs right there. We're gonna use ally attacks as well. We're gonna try to keep as many buffs as possible on the team. So an ally attack is going to attack with the A2 skill here, not the A1. 259 and 111, if I've seen that right, or 170. Something like that. So let's apply the hex, and slowly, let's deal with some of these heads and see some of his damage. Now, we do have the Head of Suffering in here, which will reduce our AoE damage. So we have the decreased speed, 85, 84, 100k plus, 100k plus. It doesn't seem like impressive damage, okay, with the AoE, at least not at the very moment. We're going to have to basically wait and decapitate some of the heads. That should definitely work a bit better. Now, in terms of buffs, I did have around 8 buffs on him, 7 buffs. So that gave him a lot of extra defense, which should really make up a bit. Keep in mind, my Great Hall for the Hydra is completely maxed, okay? So that will increase the stats on the champion by a lot. And it's not just about the stats, it's the fact that I'm going to ignore a 20% additional defense versus these bosses, right? So that will make a massive, massive difference. Something to keep in mind. 395, 301 with the A2. So that's almost 700k with the A2 skill on non-decapitated heads. That's actually really not bad. Really not bad, but not on the crazy side either, right? Like, if I'm bringing in a ninja, if I'm bringing in an Ieyasu, a Toshiro, or some of the a Thurvold, some of the harder hitters, they will definitely put more damage than that. So let's continue to buff. Give me more buffs. The more I have, the better. And let's try to take the Head of Blight down. So A1, 201, 190k for a basic skill, pretty decent. As you guys can probably notice, his damage is not something that will blow your mind, okay? It's not something that, oh my god, I need to do this fusion because this is the next big damage dealer for the Hydra clan boss. But as I've mentioned, this is not a champion that everybody should get, personally. That's what I think personally. I feel like this is great for progression, great for people that are struggling in the Hydra clan boss, and you're looking for a decreased speed, a weakened champion, you're looking for a champion that can help with the life barrier. As simple as that. He is ignoring the ally protection. We do have an ally protection right there, so because of it, we're not basically going to lose any of the damage. And that is from the passive, if I remember it correctly. Let's put a provoke on. Let's get the increased defense back up and running, because that's going to be pretty important. And kill the Head of Decay, and then deal slowly with the Head of Suffering. Or we should prioritize the Head of Suffering. But either way, as you guys can probably notice, with this team, even though I have pretty good champions, I have pretty good builds on them, the damage is kind of like lacking. I only have 2 damage dealers in here. The Archer, which is not necessarily doing the craziest damage, and then I have him, which should be the top damage dealer in the team, right? So we still have that provoke for another turn. That one will respawn, that's fine. So that is the Head of Torment. I don't like that head. Okay, so we put the weaken and the decreased speed right there. Let's put the decreased speed. And I had no veil on, so I'm gonna prioritize the Head of Suffering right there. Give me that veil, maybe a cleanse as well. A cleanse would be amazing right now. Okay, no cleanse. Oof. A bit too late with a cleanse. So I'm trying to kill the Head of Suffering to basically be able to really check that AoE attack, but it seems like it's taking us a little while to do it. It's taking us a little while to do it. So 242, 244 with a basic skill. Okay, we still have the Head provoke, so we should be Gucci. And we can take 2 of them down at the same time. Then the Head of Torment won't really be an issue. Kind of like supposed to save that defense down and weaken. I don't know why I've used the skill. It's going to be much better if I was saving it. So Head of Suffering down almost. Okay, so that's down. Keep in mind, the Archer Queen will basically bring me the Hex. So she will get a lot of damage from there. Or she will basically appear like she dealt a lot of damage, even though she did not actually deal all of that damage. So we have the Head of Blight coming out. Let's use an ally attack right here. 17 turns, 20 million damage. I'm not going to use the AoE because I want to put a decreased speed, the defense down, and weaken. The weaken not as much, but the defense down from Lydia. So hopefully we're going to have that skill available now. Not yet. We got to wait one more turn. I'm just hoping that we're not going to see the Head of Suffering returning, because it is pretty annoying with the damage reduction for the AoE skill. That's all I want to try right here before I'm moving on to bringing in a blessing. Is basically have a good moment where I can actually test that AoE skill. And Lydia, don't fear. Woof! Woof! I was actually getting worried for a second there. Okay, defense down and weaken on everybody. We don't have increased defense, man. That sucks. That sucks. Why? Sifi, what are you doing? Can you freaking give me that increased defense? And this head is gonna spawn before we're gonna get a chance to basically put that up on us. Let's get some thermometer, Sifi. Sifi, please don't proc that fear. Please don't proc that fear. Tons of buffs, tons of buffs. Come on. Okay, that head is back. At least it's not the head of the suffering, because we can't have that on. So the damage that we're gonna deal versus the head of suffering is gonna be shite right now, because all of the other ones respond in the meantime. And we got the fear. I mean, can anything else go more wrong than this? Probably not. Probably not. Why? Right? Like, what else can go wrong when everything that's wrong is happening right now? Okay, so let's put that. Let's bring that in. At least we have that skill available. So hopefully the head of suffering won't be spawning before. But then you never know, because I mean, come on, dude. Like, Skratch, what the heck are you even talking about? Of course he's gonna spawn before, you idiot. AoE, weak heat, yes, baby. That's exactly what I want to see. Have you guys saw how cool the hero is? Because we cannot actually showcase what we're trying to do here, because the freaking game is just literally going against us. It's just messing everything up. So everything that can go wrong, just to ensure that we're not able to showcase what we're trying to showcase right here, is happening. So the A2, we got almost 1.7. We got more than 1.7. So we got 1.7 million damage with the A2 skill on a decapitated head. Pretty good damage. Now, I'm still not able to show you that AoE attack just yet. I'm not going to give up till I'm actually able to show it to you before I put the blessing on, guys. Because I feel like it's pretty important to kind of like give us a bit of an idea of what sort of damage we can get from there. Okay, so you have the Head of Blight. That's one of the issues that you have when you're not able to deal crazy damage. You cannot kill multiple heads at the same time, and that will basically make you lose a lot of damage. Like in this run, for example, we're just killing one head, and it's not because I don't want to kill them all at the same time. It's just basically the lack of damage. So let's put that provoke up and running. Let's put the hex. Let's put the defense down and the weaken, and we're gonna go in once again with the AoE attack. No decapitated heads or anything like that, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe we're gonna deal enough damage to decapitate some, right? So let's put that up and running. AoE attack incoming. 130, 118, 170, 250 plus. What is it on decapitated heads? That's what I want to see. Let's see if we can somehow knock down multiple heads at the same time. So we got 1, 2, beautiful. Let's try to take the Head of Mischief down as well, so at least we have 3. And like that, we're going to drop the thermometer on the other ones to ensure that they're not spawning back. Cardial, that's fine. Give me back my Cardial. So this increased the damage by 10%. This is the very first champion that got devoured in my run. And this is boss turn count 31, okay? That's why I'm saying, like, it's going to take ages for that skill to max up. Like, I need to have 4 more champions devoured, and it's just not going to happen just yet. It's probably not going to happen throughout the entire run, or it might happen because I don't have necessarily the best setup in here. But either way, I feel like that should be 25% every single time one of your champions is getting devoured. And if that would be the case, it should be golden, right? So let's put hacks, everything else. We have debuffs on all of the heads that are down. We're going to get increased defense. We're going to get a lot of buffs on him as well. So right now is basically the perfect environment to ensure that we're going to boom and see what damage we deal with this skill. Okay? It better not be disappointing, because my god, I've been trying to do this for the last 10 minutes. 700k, 600k. So around 1.3, 1.2 million damage with the AoE attack on the decapitated heads. With the max Great Hall. Keep that in mind. Pretty decent stats on him. He has good crit damage, but pretty low defense. Now the passive increased that defense quite a bit. I don't think the damage is crazy on the AoE. Feral is on the team. That buffs the damage by 20%. I have Lydia with a Feral set that buffs the damage by 10%. Cardial with protection that buffs a bit the damage as well. So the AoE feels pretty underwhelming, okay? So taking all of the things that I've just mentioned in consideration, the AoE damage feels pretty lacking. Is lacking. Is weak, okay? I can't speak anymore. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore, but it is pretty weak. So, and battle, let's see the total damage, 56 million in 11 minutes. So we have Cardial with 6.7, the Fusion with 21, and the Nargigante Archer with 19.6. Now keep in mind, a lot of that damage did not came from her own hits, it's because of the Hex. So 21 million damage. I don't necessarily think that that is very, very good, okay? So up to you guys if you're gonna go for the champion. The damage is not based on enemy max HP, unfortunately. In some cases, it could have been better, especially on the AoE attack. Actually, even on the AoE attack. Yeah, on the AoE attack, when you have decapitated heads, the damage would have been higher. So that would have been more helpful for the people that are still trying to progress to the Hydra and actually get this champion. So if I'm going to throw a soul on him, let me slap a soul on him, smack a soul on him, and we're gonna go with Nature's Red, guys. So we have much better stats now, right? 7.5k defense, 348 crit damage. Now, if I'm going to actually show you this as well with the Hydra, everything is max, right? So check that out. Almost 8k defense, 7.8, 378 crit damage. The reason why I showed you that is because we're going to go in the Hydra to do another run. And this time around, I'm actually going to do a quick battle. Okay, I'm going to let it play out. I don't want to keep you guys here for 5 years. So I need to do it on brutal, actually. So let's click on quick battle. Can we go all the way to the end? 337 million damage. Okay. Cardial, 56 million. Cardial is not really a damage dealer. I do have him built for damage, but he's on protection, right? And he dealt 56 million damage with one single skill attacking, which is the basic skill, a single target, 56 million. Keep that in mind. Lysantir, 142 million damage. Lydia, 26. Firwell, 12. Nargigante Archer, 92 million. And Sifi, 5.1 million damage. Now, as I've mentioned, progression-wise, is going to be fine. I don't necessarily think that I wouldn't recommend even for the new players to go for the champion, or the people that are looking to progress through the game to go for the champion. And the reason why I'm saying it, you're going to have to invest a lot of resources. Now, this is mainly for low spenders free to play. If you're a spender, go for it, right? You're going to go for it no matter what. But if you're a low spender free to play, you will have to book the champion, which kind of sucks. 13 books, if I remember it correctly. And the damage feels pretty subpar to other champions. I feel like you could be better off by using different champions in the Hydra clan boss, like, for example, Husk. Enemy max HP. Yes, he's not going to do 142 million. He's an epic champion. You might have him. And he brings you a provoke as well. You can use Royal Guard. You can use Geomancer. Or if we're talking about legendary champions, I feel like there are so many legendary champions that could potentially do very similar damage or better. Ninja, for example, amazing. So much better than the Fusion champion. I feel like most of the legendaries, most of them that are damage dealers, and like even Holstring will demolish this guy in terms of damage with a similar build and blessing, right? Will be much, much better. So I'm not feeling it. I would not recommend anyone to go for the Fusion unless you like the champion for whatever reason. You think he might help you in different content. I just think he's not good enough for the Hydra clan boss. Not enough damage. I have pretty stacked stats on him, and this is maxed, okay? This on its own makes up for like 30% of his damage, okay? So keep that in mind as well. Either way, that was all for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful. And don't forget, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, help out with that YouTube algorithm. And I will catch you all guys in the next video. Peace.